G'day everyone, it's Bo from GrowthWise. In the video today, I'm going to be running through what you need to do after you've done your reconciliation of your account. So for most of you, the way that you're used to reconciling your account is you click on Reconcile, you deal with any transactions that are here. So we'll just sort this one out. And click OK. And you'll see this screen. And it'll tell you your statement balance, and it says, great job, everything's fine. But it may not be, and that's what we're going to go through today. So for the next part of this, what we're going to want to do is jump onto our online banking and go and find a bank statement, because we're going to use that bank statement to then check the balance that we have in Xero and make sure that everything's up to date. All right, let's jump back into Xero. If you're not on the home page already, click the home button and get back to your home page. The next thing that we're going to do is click on these little three dots. So we'll click here, and then we want to go to this option that says Go to Reconciliation Report. So we'll click that and we'll wait for it to load up. And here we are. So you notice on this page that we can actually select a date range. So if you've downloaded your statement from your internet banking, what you'll need to do is on the statement, look at the start date on that and the end date. And the other thing that you'll also need will be your closing bank balance. All right, on my screen now, you should be able to see a Commonwealth Bank statement. And in the top right-hand corner, we have our statement period for the month of January. And we also have a closing balance of $469.76. So I'm just going to hide this. And then if we go back into Xero, we're on the bank reconciliation report screen. We've already gone in and allocated our transactions, so they're all done up to date. The next thing that we need to do is based on the statement that we have. So the one that we have, it starts on the 1st of January. We're going to align the dates first to be the same as our statement. So 1st of January 2026, and then the 31st of January 2026. Transaction account, that's the one that we're actually checking, which is fine. And then the bank statement ending balance, we had $469.76. So that's what you need to do first. Put in all of the data, make sure it lines up to what you have in your bank statement. And then the next thing you do is click on Update. And then what we're looking for here is really this bottom line where it says calculated statement balance out by. So at the moment, you can see it's a dash, so there is no variance to what our statement said. That's now our indicator that not only have we allocated all of our transactions, but all of the transactions that we have allocated completely line up to the bank statement that we've been issued, which is great. If it doesn't, there's some other things that we'll need to go through, and I'll go through those shortly. Let's jump back into that same window again now. So in the example that we gave, everything worked out, it all looked good. But what if our end balance was $900? We click on Update, and we can now see that we've got a variance here of $430.24. Now that's a problem. It's a problem for a variety of reasons. It means that you don't have the full picture of what's happened in the business. You don't have all the transactions in there. Something's wrong. And that means that your expenditure is wrong, but it also means that you might have payments that have come through that you haven't actually reconciled to invoices because you don't even know that they're there. So it's a really important thing to go through this process and check it at the end of each month just to make sure that everything's up to date. So if you do have this problem and you have a statement balance that's out, normally the first thing that we recommend is go to a prior period. Go back and check December. Was December okay? If December was okay, we now know that the December month didn't have an issue. Our issue is likely going to be in the January month. Okay, so at this point, we know that our balance is out. It's a problem, as we discussed earlier. Now, the next thing that we can look at is at the top of the screen here, we've got all of these little arrow buttons. So if I click this little arrow here, notice we now shift into the actual bank statement. So not the summary, but the statement. And if you recall from earlier, your bank statement has your transactions and everything on it. This should be a replica of what you have on that bank statement. So the best way to actually check that everything's right here is look at the balance at the end of each day. I say end of each day because what you'll notice with some of them, say for example, the 8th of January, it's a running balance and the last transaction says this. These transactions may not be in the same order as what's on your bank statement. So you're best to look at basically the final day or the final transaction of a day and what that balance is, and then compare it to whatever the final balance is on the same day on your bank statement. So that's the best thing to check first, is actually go through and figure out where something might have gone wrong. And then if it has gone wrong on a particular day, then you would go through and say manually import transactions to bring everything up to date. Another thing that you can actually see on this page is the source. So if you've got a bank that doesn't actually have a bank feed, for example, and everything's imported, you'll tend to find that this is more of a problem, right? Because you don't actually have anything to rely on from the bank. It's reliant on you or a bookkeeper or whoever's actually bringing your transactions into Xero. But the same method applies. So whether it's bank feed or whether it's imported, you can still do this, because remember as well, bank feeds still have issues from time to time. This helps you figure out where things have gone wrong. The last thing that I wanted to show in this video is the statement exceptions page. So remember I said you've got these little arrows that'll cycle through everything. We went to the actual bank statement that showed us all our transactions. And then if we click that button again, I'm already on this page, so that's why we're already there. We'll then be on the statement exceptions page. Now, this one can be quite useful as well, because it will show you, if you look down, if there's any reason why something's changed on the bank transactions that have come in. So in this particular one, we can see that in July, we actually had bank feed transactions that someone had deleted. We had user entered bank transactions as well. So if you're trying to figure out why your bank has some weird issues, this can be a really good report. It'll also do things like it might flag duplicates as well. So if you have a bank feed that's unreliable, sometimes you'll get feeds of the same transaction. The statement exceptions report will actually be a good indicator of what's wrong there. So that's the last one that I wanted to show everyone, just to explain the different parts in the bank reconciliation report and what you should be doing after you've allocated all of your transactions on the reconciliation screen, just to figure out to make sure that your bank balances actually match up with what you've got in Xero. Thanks everyone for watching. The main aim of this video was just to make sure that you can do that first little bit that we covered. So making sure that you check your bank statement balance against the Xero recorded balance. If you can now do that, that's amazing. In the future, we will cover off some more advanced topics, so keep an eye out for those, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.